The first one is about the human resource planning. From this organizing perspective, we talk about the staffing, we talk about the human resource, okay? Recruitment, right? Analyze the job, again, together with the HR. Don't leave it to HR alone. Although HR might keep those recording with them, right? The job description, the organizational chart, right? We call this, like a systematic collection and recording of the information about the job. This is job description, describe the responsibility, right? Describe the qualification, and then also the organization chart to define the level, the relation, the line. We have, this job description ready. We have this job specification written in this job description. This is important. It is time consuming, but you should not leave it to HR. You need to together. I don't say like, you work it alone as well. Together with HR, there will be the forecasting, the supply demand. I don't worry about the supply, because usually, like if you have like the job announcement, right, the position announcement, through this internal reference, very likely you will have people, let's say, apply. Okay, the prerequisite is the company is good, right? The salary is reasonable, but the comparatively supply is, supply is easy. You don't need to forecast, right? But demand, you need to focus first. Your function, your department will be, expanding. And then in addition, as the manager, who might be leaving or who might be fired, all right? Think about this process, staffing process also take time, right? 3 months, 6 months, and then you need to select. Don't forget the select. Okay, the interview process also takes a long time. You give the offer, but it doesn't mean the applicants, they will immediately accept the offer, right? You see the point? So first, you need to focus the demand. The second is you need to really to fulfill the demand, right? So you need to successfully hire the people, okay? It's important to understand it time consuming. This is still the first step, right? The human resource planning. We talk about the matching, the supply and demand. It's quite easy. So we have the demand, and then we started to, let's say, a little blah, blah, recruitment, selecting, training, development. See, it is very costly, okay? Hiring people. It's not only about the time, it's also about the costs, okay? Training, development, this also the cost, right? If, like, let's say that 1 year, the employee left, you already pay 1 year, you got nothing, because the employee not yet really perform, okay? And then he or she left, and that means you need to start from the very beginning again. We waste 1 year. The second process is about the selecting. So the selecting, including the recruiting, right? And then the selecting process, including recruiting and then the selection. Okay. Recruiting is more like try to attract, right, the applicants. Job posting, the job announcement, right? So this can be internal, can be external, right? Start from internal for our operation, the line positions. And then you will see there are many qualified potential candidates available. Internal promotion will motivate people. People know the business, know the company well. All right. So this will be my first, let's say, recommendation. Second, internal reference. You know someone, and then they might be qualified. You can invite them to apply. Pro and cons. The idea is you know them better, but the cons is it might have a little, let's say, issue. So whether you will affect this, let's say, the selection, process. But try to, later on, try to stay away from the selecting process. You can reference, right? You can introduce, you can recommend, but you don't need to be involved in this selecting process. And then the next one will be the external recruiting. That means that we have that advertisement. Let me tell you this. In the university, companies they will visit the department. FRE, Food and Resource Economics. Usually we will have our alumni. They come back and then they ask, hey, we are, recruiting management trainee MT, all right, or we are recruiting interns, okay? So this could be the good opportunity. Also, this is still external, but it is better than knowing nothing, right? Send the announcement posted somewhere, right? Don't forget, there's another opportunity. Headhunting. Once you become a little bit senior, middle manager, headhunting companies, they will reach you. They will introduce job to you. It is, I would say, this is pre-selected. We need to narrow it down. I mean, particularly for the important positions. I just mentioned about the headhunter. So you know that actually this is a good, way, but this is managerial level, managerial positions, okay? And then the headhunter, I don't know how much they charge the company, but I know there will be around 1 year, 12 months to 24 months salary. This is the amount the company will pay to the headhunters. But from the applicants or from the, like the employee perspective, you need also to have a list, all right? Try to think about the possible opportunities. But the least I personally, the least I preferred is this so-called external recruiting advertising, all right? For low-level, low-skill job, okay? Thinking about this, it's important, or let's say high-skilled positions, okay? It's not that way, right? It should not be that way. The selecting process, including like the pre-screen, right? Your resume, you send it to some company, right? And then you never heard back from them. That's why I also say, hey, internal reference will give you extra probability, extra chance, all right, to be interviewed. Then there will be the interview process. So they will start to ask you questions, right? You need to show your, whatever knowledge, skill, right? I mean, by talking, right? So you need to be prepared. So there are two different, let's say, applicants. The first group, they're good at the talking, big talk, all right? But they're not that qualified. I'm not saying they are not qualified, they're not that qualified. But unfortunately, once they get into the daily routine, daily performance, their performance or their ability could not fulfill that job well, because they're good at talking instead of good at doing things. You know what happened? Either they will fail, like during the probation period, or they will fail the first year performance appraisal. See my point? I have a couple of friends in China, very good at the talk. They are very good at interview. The interview skill, HR, they needed the interview skill, right? As the applicants, you also needed the interview skill. One guy, he stayed at the company for 6 months and then he switched to another company. Another 6 months, he switched to another company. It was easy for him to find a new job, but he cannot stay long. You know why 6 months? 6 months is the probation period. Category, the second, type, myself. I'm not very good at the talking. I don't have very good interview skill. I'm not saying bad, but not very good. But once they hired me, they realized, oh, Shimi's good. Shimi's great. Shimi, it's much better than, his performance during interview. Good at the doing, but I'm not so good at the talking. But then they realized, oh, in order to keep him in the company, we needed to, give him a raise, right? Give him a bump or give him a promotion. So that's why I stayed in one company for about like 20 years. I don't want to, talk too much regarding, oh, you need to fill the application for. Well, leave it to, you will get to know that, right? Probably you will go through several rounds of interview. It depends on the level. Low level, 1 or 2 times. High level, me, 5 times. Assessment center, or we call development center, AC or DC. This is for selecting potential managers to be promoted to another level, to another high level. And we will talk about this when we talk about the development. Once accept the job, right? And then there will be the orientation, there will be the training, there will be the probation. So it depends on the company, and then depends on, what position, how long it takes you to adapt to the position, right? Adapt to the new company. Long time ago, I had a friend, I had a colleague. Our store opened, he just disappeared. Then we asked him later, why you didn't show up? He was the department manager. The pressure is too high. I cannot take it. I quit. You know what happened later? I replaced him. Okay, I become the manager. I treat the pressure as a challenge, but I don't treat the pressure as the bad thing. I treat it as the good thing, or let's say towards the positive side. If the challenge is a mission impossible, then probably you needed to speak out, right? Instead of quit, you needed to speak out. Discuss with your line manager, take some of the responsibility. I mean, otherwise that if I collapse, the department collapse, right? You will have big trouble, all right? So we needed to be responsible. We need to be accountable.